So you're playing NHL 15, you're getting frustrated, and you're having trouble getting those wins. Maybe the strategies you're using just don't fit your playstyle. In my last 10 Division 1 games, I've never let up more than 2 goals. I have 9 wins, 1 loss, and in 7 of those games, I scored 3 or more goals. So let's take a look at what strategies are working for me. Alright guys, let's start with the forecheck. Now the forecheck applies when the puck's in the offensive zone, but you don't have it. You're applying the forecheck, you're going to get it. So what I use is the 1-2-2 aggressive. One forward in deep, forcing the play up the boards into your teammates. Let's see how it looks in a game. With the draw just outside the blue line, I'm going to dump this puck in and watch where the forwards go. We got the one guy going in deep, the other forwards are up the boards waiting for the breakout pass, and then the D are at the blue lines, right? Then you can decide to hold the blue line or not. Let's look at it again. We dump the puck in, one guy in deep, forwards on the wingers, and then the D at the blue line. Let's slow it down again. I took the 1D out of position, but watch, we dump it in, puck goes into the corner, we got one guy on him, the aggressive, we're trying to take him out. Generally, I control the guy closest to the puck and hit him, but we're just showing the strategy here. We got that one guy deep, pressuring him to force a pass. We got the 2 wingers ready to break up the pass, and then the 2D on the blue line. That's what we call the 1-2-2 forecheck. Works pretty good. Alright, so let's say our forecheck didn't get the puck. Now we got to worry about the neutral zone. They're breaking out of their own end, and what I use as the defensive strategy is the 1-3-1. So we got one guy deep, we got 3 guys next in line, and then one guy back in his own end protecting the net. But Bacon, I thought you hated the trap. I do hate the trap. The reason I use this strategy is because I love stepping up with my other defenseman. Watch this guy breaking out of the zone. I step up with my D, and I can turn the play around right there, and it actually leads to a goal in this case. You can say, alright, that's just one play though. Well, let's take a look again. The reason I love this formation so much is because my one defender is really worried about his own net, and I don't give up as many breakaways. And since I'm a guy who likes to pressure the play and step up, I need this other guy going back. Look at him, he's already going back. But if I were to miss, if he would have done a stride deke or a quick pass or something, I would at least have this one man back, and it wouldn't be giving up that easy breakaway. Let's take a look at another example. Does stepping up work a lot? Do you use it a lot? I use it very often, very often. Watch this. Now he's breaking out of his own zone, and that's the best time to hop up. As soon as he's receiving that pass, you can crunch him. He's not ready for it. He does that long animation turn, and you can rock him right there. That's the best spot to hit him, just inside their own blue line. Now what happens if you do miss? See, I miss there. He makes a quick pass. I can play him one-on-one here, and my forwards are coming back to help. So that's how I play with the 1-3-1 neutral zone. I play it more aggressive than most. Now this slider here, all this does is it tells your players would they rather go for the forecheck or set up in the neutral zone. So that you can adjust if you want them to prefer the 1-2-2 or the 1-3-1. That's what that slider does. Now let's move on to the offensive pressure. Now what I use is the standard. It's a good mix of cautious and aggressive play. Now this is what your players do when you have the puck in the offensive zone. Let's take a look at it in game. So we're just breaking out of our own end here. We're busting in the zone, and now is when the standard offensive pressure is going to start. We took a shot there. We end up picking up the puck, and watch the defense. They're open, wide open for the pass. I like that the D stay at home unless I move them up, right? So we got guys going into the corner hard, and that's when they have the puck, that's when our forecheck pops in, that 1-2-2. When I get the puck again, standard pressure, we got the guy going down low for the cycle. He's wide open there. The wingers are open for a pass. The defense is open back here. They stay on the perimeter. It's wide open. We got a guy out front, and he tips it home. I love this setup. It is a good mix. It works good for the cross crease one-timer, and you also see the points are open. And if you get a guy out front like that, you just got to wait for him to come out of the corner because he does want to play the cycle for you too. So wait before you shoot. He'll get out front, and you get some tip-ins too. Now it's time to look at what we do in our own end. We're going to look at defensive pressure and defensive strategy. Now I have these working hand in hand. I use protect the net and I use collapsing. The reason I do that is they essentially do the same thing. They clog up the slot and they clog up the front of the net. And that's what we want to do. If you think of the 3 highest scoring areas in this game, just inside the hash marks, the cross crease, or the slot. That's why we want to clog up this area. Watch this. All 5 guys in between the hash marks and in the slot. It forces him outside to take an outside shot. Watch this again. He comes back in the zone after I turned it over. Guy's in the middle. He has to shoot from way outside, and then we can get the puck out of the zone. And once we get the puck out of the zone, we skate down and we tuck it. That's how we do it. But watch this again. All 5 guys in between the hash marks or in the slot. These are the most important areas to take away in your defensive zone. If he's taking a point shot, you can skate out there manually, but focus on these 3 areas first. That's why I like this setup. Now, if you do happen to take a penalty, which we all do, what are you going to use? I prefer the passive box. Creates a tight box in the defensive zone. And the reason why I like this is because the forwards stay low enough to cover the hash marks still. I can skate out to the slot and the defensemen stay beside the net. I can watch that pass coming from out front. So this strategy controls the plays in your own corner and clogs up the slot to block a shot from the point. Now, when it comes to the power play, I prefer the strategy shooting. Strong puck movement and good point shots, and that's just how I try to play it. I like to circle around along the sideboards and then throw it back to the point. If the shot's not there, I put it back to the boards. Let's take a look in the game. Now, what I really like about this strategy is that the wingers stand out far enough. They are set up for the one-timer almost all the time. Watch this. I'm going to circle around. It's all about puck control when you're on the power play, right? I'm going to keep circling around and watch how my winger pops out to about the hash marks. Look at him. Datsuk's over there, sitting over there. He steps in. He's about the hash marks right there. I throw it down to him. I get a one-timer. It doesn't quite go in. That pass came from the point. Now, generally, that shot, it looks good when it does go in, but it doesn't go in as often. You want the pass to come from your other winger, the cross-crease style, right? That's where we want the pass to come from. And on the power play, it's open a lot. I circle down low, the pass is there again, and we score, right? So that's where we want the pass to come from. That's why I like this setup, because it's really hard to cover the point. Anybody who's using the tight box on the penalty kill and trying to cover that cross crease all day long is going to leave the points open, and you can just wire shots all day. And if they use the tight point, trying to take away your defense from shooting all day long, then you can just play it down low. It's a good mix. I love this power play setup, so that's why I use it. Now, this last slider, I'm not even sure if it makes sense. You can interpret this 2 different ways. It says the PP carry. During power plays, determine AI tendency to carry the puck into the offensive zone versus dumping and chasing the puck in. Now, the thing is, as soon as my team gets the puck, I have full control of that. So they're never going to dump it in unless I decide to, right? Now, the other way you could think of it is, are they going to anticipate me dumping the puck in if I have that turned up? In which case, they'd be skating full bore rather than holding up at the blue line. Maybe that's why you're getting offsides. So there you have it. Those are all my team strategies. But before I move on, I want to go back to one neutral zone strategy. And I just want to talk about it a little bit. And I actually want to plead to EA to at least consider, just consider it, removing this strategy, the 1-4, completely from the game. I would love to see this removed completely from the game because, in my opinion, it can single-handedly ruin an entire game. The idea behind the 1-4 is to have one guy forechecking, at least pressuring the puck a little bit, and 4 guys along your blue line to set the trap, right? Well, this is how it gets played. They play 0-5. They want you to skate into them, cause a turnover, and then start their forecheck. Start their breakout, break into your zone. So basically what it turns out is I have to bait one of the computers away. I somehow have to keep circling around and bait one of the computers away. The dump and chase is not, it's not really effective in this game. It's really not that effective. I finally broke in there, and what happens if I don't even skate at all? This is what the game turns into. It's a game breaker. Hockey's supposed to be the fastest game on the planet, and I'm not sure this strategy promotes that. Pretty bad, but watch when you try to skate into it. I mean, it's a good defensive strategy, but it's just boring. It makes the game boring. You got to make sure you don't let these guys win so that they change their strategies, though. So this is just me peppering the same guy. I really hope EA takes that out or at least modifies it so we can keep this game moving. Anyways, we have our team strategies. Now, there is another section, actually. If you hold L2, you can scroll over to each individual line. There's a couple different sliders there. I'll let you guys play around with them. I keep all my sliders the same for each line. That way I know what's going on, right? You can actually change up how each individual line plays. So you guys can play around with that, but I do want to talk about one of the defensive pairing ones. It's called Hold the Line. Now, if your computer defenseman seems to be jumping up into the play, getting caught out of position, and giving up breakaways, you might want to play around with this slider just a little bit. Just a little bit. Anyway, that's my advice for you. Anyways, guys, those are the team strategies that I use and the ones that have worked best for me. Feel free to use them and even tweak them around a little bit to fit your playstyle perfectly. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. We'll see you guys soon.